you select something more where you can make fast rank. So then I says, well, the Infantry Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana. He said, now there you go, that's a good place. Okay, sir, well, I'll take your advice. So we changed the order to the Airborne to Fort Polk, Louisiana. And Fort Polk, Louisiana was hard up for people because nobody wanted to go to Fort Polk. So I made it, but I had to start as a private. I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, I already know what to do and what's expected. And so anyway, I rose from private to sergeant first class in 2.5 years. So I wasn't concerned about it. But every chance I had, I didn't go work in Missoula like a lot of my friends did. Had a friend, oh my goodness, like I say, the name's failing me. Anyway, he was a professor at University at Nacogdoches, Texas. And so he used to go every summer and work out of Missoula, not jumping, but just working at the base there. So he almost got me to go with him several times, but I said, well, he had one son, I think, but they didn't have a family. And then his wife passed, which we knew quite well. His wife passed away, so then that kind of more so than ever, he would take off to go and work and sort of stay busy, you know. He passed away one time. I don't remember if it was Bob Whaley that told me, or one of my friends told me, you know, Tom. Yeah, of course. Said, well, he came through here and he was on the way to Canada to visit and work up there. Oh, that's great. Next thing I hear, he came back and passed away. So at that time I was on a trip getting ready to go to Montana myself, just visiting, you know, when I heard that he had passed away. And the funeral was going to be at Nacogdoches, so I didn't make his funeral. But Tom, one time I get a call, wonderful call. I really like this call like you did. I get the call and, hey Ben, this is Tom. McGrath was his last name. Yeah, what you doing? He says, well, I'm flying from down South Texas and I can fly straight into Hondo, down below. He says, I was living in the next town about 8 miles away, Dehaney. He says, I'd like to come visit you. Yeah, of course. So he landed a little old plane at the Hondo airfield. My wife and I came and met him, picked him up, and so that was quite a deal. After I toured the area, little village there, you know, brought him back to his plane and gassed up and everything. He took off.
What when you've got a lot of experience and you had a lot before you entered the jumpers, but have you ever thought if there's something that you get from being a smoke jumper that's unique, or is it just another job? What's your general feeling about it?
No, what I knew even before I joined, and my experience with them was that it was a great organization, a great bunch of guys, if I may say so loosely. everybody that became a smoke jumper, I mean, like, you could depend on them. You know, you could form a friendship right away. And even though I experienced that in the military, still the smoke jumper organization left them way behind. As far as it's, you know, camaraderie and all that. And like I say, I kind of felt it before, and having been with them, that was the way it was. So, of all the things I've done in my life, to include the military that I loved, the Smoke Jumper organization was just a little bit more to me, like I read in most cases. I get the Smoke Jumper magazine, and I read all the stories, and it doesn't surprise me to hear these stories, and everybody has pretty much the same feeling that it is an organization that once you get in and get to know the people, you just kind of form that bond, you know. And to me, outside of the military, even the family, we are very blessed. We had 6 children, lost one at 20 years of age, and I did not tell them to join the military, but in one form or another they did, and that one son joined the military on his own, and he went with the medical side of it and took up X-ray technician, and he really loved it. And I always passed it on to them that the way you treat people, the way you present yourself, means a lot. Because if you form that you know, closeness, then you can depend on people, and they picked it up. They picked it up without much trouble. And when we get together, we're very blessed that we have a large family unity, and all my kids, they were very little when my smoke jumping days, but they know that, they know how I feel. So when it comes to that, they know, and so they kind of picked up a lot of that, and of course they see the magazine and everything, and they know what it's all about. The one yesterday turned 60 years old, my first one, born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And she put in 32 years with AFI, the PXBX, and her last 3 tours were in Kuwait. And so she gave us all of them, but her being the more active. She took us to Hawaii last year to celebrate our 60th wedding anniversary. And so I don't know, most people know about that I love the military and the smoke jumpers and organizations like that, veteran organizations, that an opportunity came up last year. It's last year now, it seems like yesterday, but they were looking for veterans of the 173rd Airborne. Did you see that on the book?
No.
It was the 173rd Airborne 50th anniversary. So they lined it up to commemorate the anniversary. They were looking for veterans to jump out of a T-47. There's a one T-47 at Frederick, Oklahoma. It was built in Oklahoma in 1942, I think it was. And that plane dropped a lot of paratroopers in World War II over Europe, and it's still running. So there's a bunch of guys, veterans, that are running the organization. It's called World War II Airborne Demonstration Team. So they were looking for volunteers to make a mass jump to represent the 173rd. They were having their reunion in Las Vegas in August. So they lined up to try to do that in July. So I got a hold of this recruiter and I said, hey, is there any age limit? And he paused, he's in Michigan. He paused and he says, well, Ben, I don't know. He says, we don't have nothing in writing, but, you know, once a person starts reaching for 50, you know, kind of start looking at it. I said, yeah, I know. He said, are you interested in jumping? I said, yes. He said, well, are you over 50? Yes. Don't tell me you're 60. Yes. Well, golly, how old are you? Are you 70? Yes. Well, how old are you? I said, well, I'm 81. And you want to jump? I said, yes. I said, because by the time the jump comes about, if it comes through, I said, I'll be 82. And I started with the 82nd Airborne. So that kind of rhymes, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of fits together somehow. So I said, that's the reason. Besides, I love the history of our military, and I'm quite a fan of World War II, and that's what inspired me to make it a career in the first place. So when it comes to something like that, that's right down my line, you know. He said, well, I tell you what, he says, you're going to have to put in your application and get a doctor's certificate. I said, yeah, I'm well familiar with that because my Smokejumper organization, they have a program where a lot of wonderful volunteers volunteer to go work in the forest somewhere doing projects, and the first thing they require is a doctor's certificate. I said, so I'm well aware of that. Okay. So I said,